All right, everyone, welcome to Born to Roll, the interview, where we talk to filmmakers, artists, and creatives that are shaping media today. I'm your host, Steve Winjet, and today we are joined by Canadian actor, producer, musician, Elizabeth Chamberlain. Welcome.
Thank
Elizabeth.
you for having me. What an introduction. Wow.
Yeah, I'll probably work on it a little bit, but hey, this is like our first go around, so
I think it's perfect.
right. So I'm happy to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no problem. It's a little bit warm in here today, so let me know if you need anything.
Okay.
Yeah, so what have you been up to?
So, what's up?
What's up?
I've been up to a lot lately. It has been very, very busy for me, which is a good thing. Sometimes it's a lot, like sometimes it's a little overwhelming, but overall it's a really good thing. So, I mean, the last thing we did together was not that long ago even.
Yeah, I'm still in post. It's really, really close. I'm just like being really hypercritical about the color grading and sound, which I should, right?
Yeah, of course, why not?
So you wear a lot of creative hats.
I do, yes.
When someone asks you, what is it that you do most these days? What's your answer?
Well, I definitely do acting the most, but saying that I wear a lot of creative hats is very accurate. I think a lot of people in the industry end up doing that. It's very common. I think it makes you more hireable, and it also makes you better at your role. Like, I've done a lot of different things where obviously I started out with acting, and I've done a little bit of producing, like you said. I've done directing, I've done some cinematography, I've done helping out behind the scenes, I've done writing, whatever. It actually makes me a better actor, all of those other things. It makes me know what other people's jobs are, how I can interact with them, how I can best collaborate with them, how I can make their jobs easier and their lives easier. And it just makes the whole process a lot more smooth. So my versatile training and my versatile knowledge about everything surrounding film and acting, I think just enhances the whole experience.
Yeah, and I think with that, ultimately, it gives you empathy.
Yeah, exactly. You know?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's super important. Like as a director, I act a little bit, not a whole bunch.
Right.
I act simply because it helps me understand just how intimidating being in front of a lens can be.
Well, and that also makes me feel supported as an actor when other people know that too. Because I try my best to do a good job all the time on set. But if somebody is on the other end of the camera or behind the scenes and they know how stressful it is and they know what I need or they know how hard my job is, it makes me feel better. I think a lot of people will look at acting and go like, oh, that's easy. Well, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah.
And I think if I was surrounded with a bunch of people who didn't think my time was worth it and thought my abilities were something anybody could do, whatever, I wouldn't feel as supported, right? And so vice versa, the other way around. When I can look at other people and I can go, every person's job on this set is vital. Every person's job on this set is vital, and we all need to support each other the best that we can. It makes me feel like we all get to step up a level together and all feel supported and all feel better about that. And I really feel like it especially helps the communication.
Yeah.
When you're talking about things and you're planning things out, you're setting things up, it just goes a lot more smoothly when you know each other's language.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Having some sort of short form. Like I've had the pleasure of working with you twice. And I look forward, hopefully get to work with you a lot more in the future. And one thing that I really appreciate about you is like, if things are a little bit long, like to getting to your scene or for your scene, you're always very patient about it. You just kind of chill and, and you come prepared. I don't think I've had to line read once.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which goes a long way. Like I have a hard time remembering the intro to this show, let alone an entire script, 4, 5, 6 pages in a row, right? So that's pretty awesome.
Well, I think as an actor, something that people often don't expect is actors actually have very little control on set. And I think that's natural. Like, we're just doing our one little spot, right? We're just doing our one character, and that's what we need to focus on. But the flip side of that is that you are it's your job to be as prepared as possible in your one role, because there are like a bazillion things that are going to happen that you don't know are going to happen, that you have no control over. You can't speed things up. You can't just start climbing a ladder and help somebody hang a light. Like, you can't do those things. You need to just stay in your one role. So that's the one thing I can control, is how prepared I am, right? So if I come not prepared and then somebody throws 5 different things at me and they go, oh, can you do it like this? Can you do it while standing on your head? Can you do it while acting like a dog, or whatever? Those things have happened. The first thing that's going to leave you is stuff that you're not prepared, like your lines. If you don't know your lines, as soon as somebody throws something at you, they're going to go out the window. And then you're not going to be able to do your best job. You're not going to be able to do what's asked of you, etc. And there's so much pivoting on set. It's like, you try to plan for everything. You go, okay, I'm going to be sitting at a table in a restaurant, and I'm going to be on the left side of the table. Well, maybe not. Maybe you're going to be on the right side of the table. Maybe once you get to the restaurant's too hot and you have to do it outside. Maybe whatever, like it just switches up all the time. So the more prepared you are, the more likely that you're going to be able to pivot in any direction that you need to do, that you need to go when you're on set. So yeah, I don't know. That's what inspires me, because I'm a procrastinator with everything else in life except for my lines, because I'm just like, I need to know that at the bare minimum in order to like look good. Yeah. Film is permanent. This is permanently out there for me in my image. I need to be able to do everything I can in order to make sure that we get a good product out of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so how do you handle mentally, like, because you've done films and television on all levels, so I've watched you in things where everybody's close to par, like as far as your acting abilities are concerned, and I've also seen roles where it's like that person, it's the first day that they've ever tried to act before. How do you deal with that discrepancy?
I actually love working with people who are new to the industry. I think sometimes people get impatient or they have an attitude about it. But for me, it is so nice because it's like so exciting for them. It is so exciting for them. They think it's so cool. And sometimes I really need that reminder of how cool it is. It's like, yeah, if I would have told, child Elizabeth the cool stuff I get to do right now, she would be obsessed. She'd be freaking out. She'd be so excited for me. Yeah. And so, when people are new to the industry, obviously they're not children, but in a way they're looking at the film industry with brand new eyes, and they're saying, oh, this is cool and that's cool. And I'm like, you're right. It is cool. This isn't just my job. It's also something that I love, which I never really forget. I always love what I do. But it's really cool to get to share that with somebody for the first time and go, hey, like, you're about to see some really cool stuff happen. Yeah. So I don't know. So I really like that. And then obviously the flip side of that is really experienced people. That's always really good too, because they always come prepared. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to overcompensate to help them or anything. Like, I do my thing, they do theirs. And something I really love about working with other experienced actors is the collaboration of the creativity. It never goes how I imagined it would go. Like, I'm like, oh, this character is thinking this thing and my character is thinking this thing. Well, maybe not. Maybe that actor comes in with a completely different, worldview, a completely different mock-up for their character. And then when we interact, the scene goes a completely different direction. And if we're both really competent and really confident in ourselves as actors, we can do that. We can make magic on the spot. So I don't know. I really like that. I just love working with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's awesome. I mean, you've been doing this for a while. You clearly still have that passion.
Yeah.
You're still on fire for acting. Do you feel like that's growing and growing the more you do, the more, because with new levels come new devils, right? Mm. So as you kind of start to rise and get better roles, like, how do you keep that passion? How do you keep anxiety out of it?
Yeah, anxiety is a huge thing. I think that's something that they beat out of me in university. When I went to university for acting, anxiety is one of the big things that they harp on, right? Because if you think of somebody who's never acted before, if you were to throw them in a lead role in a really high production, there's like 70 people around you on set, whatnot. Anxiety is going to come up, right? Like, that's going to be something that's going to hold you back, because you're going to go, oh, I want to look perfect. Oh, I want to be perfect. Oh, I don't want to mess up anybody else's time. Oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden that anxiety is there and you're not going to be able to do your best job, because in order to act, in order to really embody a character, you yourself have to be relaxed. You have to be relaxed. Yeah. You have to be totally not thinking about all of the things that Elizabeth would be thinking about. You have to be thinking about things that the character's thinking about in that moment. So something that they really did a really good job of in university for me is building up your confidence. You have to believe, and it's so not like me as a person, so it's kind of, I have to step into another thing, but you have to believe that you're the best person for the role. You have to believe that, and that's something I don't believe in like any other area of my life. I'm like, somebody else could do this better or whatever, you get self-deprecating or whatnot. But when you're on set and the director yells action, you have to believe that you are capable of doing what the director is asking you to do. And there are going to be a lot of people around, and they're all staring at you, and they're all going, man, I hope she does a good job so that our jobs go easier. And you have to ignore that, and you have to believe that that is true. You have to just believe that you are the person that's going to make everybody's jobs easier. You are the person that's going to pull this off and nail it. And that is intimidating, but that's something that, you just have to drill into yourself as an actor. And you have to do that because half of a job's, more than half of an actor's job is getting hired, right? It's not just being on set. And so in order to get hired, you have to go into an audition, and you have to tell somebody that you are the best person for that role. And you have to look them in the eye and believe it. You have to go, I am the best person for this role, please hire me. And then when they do, you have to actually deliver that. You can't just be mediocre, right?
Yeah.
You have to deliver that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know exactly what the trick is to get rid of the anxiety, other than just really fully embody the character and believe in it. And that's hard to do if you're thinking about all those other things. So yeah, it's not easy.
I'd imagine acting, like most things, jiu-jitsu, fighting, that kind of stuff, it's like a perishable skill.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're not doing it, your timing is off, your cadence is off.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So are there specific things that you do as an actor to kind of keep those tools sharp, other than like you work quite a bit? You're very driven and very busy.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree with that. I think staying in it and working as much as possible definitely helps. But as with anything, there are going to be times when you're not working, right? Especially in the acting industry. Sometimes it's a lot. Sometimes you get things boom, 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 and then sometimes you don't. And for me, sometimes I purposely don't. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I just did like 6 films back to back, and I need to chill out.
Yeah.
So, and that's a thing when you're self-employed, you need to kind of build in your own vacation time, your own holidays, your own breaks, and sometimes, depending on the film company, the shooting schedule might be really rigorous. Like some people go 14 days straight, they don't take any breaks. They're 12-hour days. After that, you're going to need to make sure to take yourself a break, make yourself take these breaks. But yeah, if you take too long of breaks, it definitely is harder to get back into it. It definitely is. And memorizing lines too. It's a muscle. It's a muscle that if you don't work it out, it'll get weaker, right?
Yeah.
If you're working it out constantly, memorizing lines is not hard for me. It never has been. But I know that I've worked with people before that really struggle with it, and they have to work a lot harder at memorizing their lines than I do. But I think one of those things is because since I've started acting, I've never been without having lines to memorize, like I've just been doing that for 15 years now, right? So yeah, it's very important to keep it up. Yeah. It is very important to keep it up when you are not working, and things like that are just trying to find jobs, just memorizing like random monologues is often helpful. Working out is really, really important. Your body is your instrument. So if you are not physically capable, if you're not physically at your best, everything's harder, just everything across the board. So that's always important, especially for me, because I do, for some reason, at this point in my career, I am getting a lot of like more action roles, more kind of like badass roles, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's definitely worse things I could be typecast as, so I'm not mad about that. But on the flip side, I'm like, okay, so I gotta like do some push-ups, I guess, and other things like that. I'm always training. So yeah.
Well, I mean, your physical intelligence, your physical IQ is there. I mean, like just like on Gloomydale, we had 5-10 minutes to put a fight sequence sort of thing together, and like you picked it up really quick.
Thank you. I'm so glad. Yeah, that was a really good set, I think, for everybody. You're also a really good teacher, so that helps.
you.
You're like, let me just show you, and then you just do it, and I'm like, oh, okay. You know?
Part of being a black belt, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. But not everybody can do that, right? Like, often directors will have the image in their heads, and they just, like, speak it at you, you know? But if they can just get on the floor and go, let me just, like, friggin' do this thing, and it's like, oh, okay, that's exactly what I need to do. Perfect.
Can I let you in on a secret?
Yes.
It actually, working with you and working on Gloomydale has really lit a fire in me to do a little more action.
Nice.
Right? Not necessarily no horror anymore, but not exclusively horror. I
I'm
wanted
so glad.
more action. So.
When I reached out to you about that, that's literally what I was thinking. I was like, this just seems so up your alley. You literally run a martial arts studio. You're a filmmaker. Why are we not doing this more? You know, like, why? Let's do it. So, and I want to do more of that too. So
very cool.
You
We'll be doing some stuff. I got some ideas, and then I was talking to your dad, Todd, about, like, you know, he dropped. He said you really like Kingsman, specifically
oh my gosh,
the fight
I love
scene in
Kingsman.
Kingsman.
Oh,
I love it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, they're such good movies.
So I want to pedal backwards just a little bit, like with you working a lot and going from like Ruby to Mildred to Summer to how do you stay grounded in Elizabeth? How do you honor Elizabeth?
See, these questions tell me that you know a lot about acting, filmmaking, all of it. Because a lot of people don't realize that. It is hard. And actually, if you work with actors that have done a lot, they've just gone from project to project to project to project, sometimes you will notice that they do start to lose a little bit of touch, right? They get a little ungrounded, I guess, is maybe a word for it. And people will comment on that. I'll hear people commenting on it. And it's like, yeah, but you don't know. Like, you don't know what it's like for the brain, if we want to get into the neurology of it, or neuroscience, whatever of it. If you are training your brain to memorize lines constantly, if you are memorizing lines and then you are letting it go, you're taking in lines, you're letting it go, you're taking in information and then you're letting it go, you are training your brain to let go of information. To go, every piece of information that I'm learning, I only need to know for 5 minutes and then I can let it go. So you end up getting more forgetful. You end up not being able to remember, like, oh, what project was this? What character was this? What person did I work with this? Because you're meeting new people all the time and then you're never seeing them again. You know, it's just that intake, outtake. Whereas most people's jobs, they're working on one project, they're doing it for a really long time, you know, it's kind of a streamlined process, they're doing the same sort of thing all the time. Acting's not like that. It's a lot of different things all of the time, and you're letting that go and you're moving on to the next thing. So it is very important for me as an actor to make sure I have a normal life behind the scenes, make sure I spend time with my family, like the things that I would want to do regardless of the job I was doing. Family time is very important. Again, working out is very important. Having downtime where it's just me and my boyfriend or me and my friends, that's very important. Non-work stuff is very important, and it's hard to do because this is my passion. It's what I'm addicted to, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to do. But yeah, making sure I do that, and also making sure that I regulate my nervous system. Something that they really, really put into us in my acting university was the power of breath, the power of breathing. So things like meditation, and you don't always have time to do like a full thing of meditation, but even just, I had a professor in university, Marie Nitschke, and I just love her so much, and she was just so brilliant in so many ways, is brilliant in so many ways still. I just, you know, and one of the things that Marie Nitschke told me was, even if you only have 5 seconds, if you just close your eyes and you just like full body scan, be in the moment and just go, this is a break. That was a 5-second break. Maybe I would have loved a 24-hour break. That's not possible. I can get a 5-second break right now, right here. Nobody's going to take that from you. You can do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's 15 minutes, sometimes it's 20, whatever you get out of it. But you can do that for yourself at any time. You can just take those breaths and just take that break and then move on to the next thing. So definitely being mindful about where you're at and where your body's at, and making sure to regulate yourself between things is very important.
Yeah. Yeah, I find for myself, like as a director, one of the things that like a writer-director, I don't always memorize what I wrote.
Oh, no, yeah.
You know?
I don't feel like most people do.
And then like setting up lights, setting up the camera,
Yeah.
like dealing. So for me, like with every project, I feel like I get more and more people reaching out to work on the project, which means more bodies, more questions to answer, that sort of stuff. So like that opportunity to meditate, deep
Yes.
looking into the moment,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Taking that breath and just like coming from like taking a moment for myself to just be like, how do I direct this scene best?
Yeah.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I'll come in and I'll have I'll have shot lists, or I'll have like I've done visualization, closed eye meditation, that sort of stuff on how the scene should go. And then, like you said, you walk in and then all of a sudden it's like this cyclone of like different departments, different things go wrong,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And happy accidents. So,
Yes.
you know, so I can relate to that for sure.
Yeah, it's really important. It's something that's hard to do. It kind of goes back to that confidence thing that I was talking about earlier. It's, you know, everybody's going so fast. Everybody's setting things up. They're moving, and everybody wants everything to go smoothly and quickly and whatever. And then all of a sudden, on the drop of a dime, the director goes, "Now cry on the spot." And it's like, oh, I was just like thinking about the setup and stuff, and now I have to just like instantly flip into that. So sometimes, most of the time actually, what is the best thing to do is go, okay, I need this, I need blank. Whatever you need in that moment, you need to take for yourself in order to do the best job, right? And I think there's a flip of the switch in the mind on professionalism. When I started out, I would assume, oh my God, if I had to ask for 2 minutes, I have to ask for 2 minutes to myself to cry on set, like that's totally unprofessional or whatever. That's what I would have assumed when I first started out. But now I realize that if you go, I know exactly what I need to get here, and I'm going to ask for it right now. And it's not a huge ask usually. It's usually like, yeah, I need 30 seconds or 2 minutes, or I need somebody to make eye contact with me, or I need a snack, or whatever it is that you need in that moment to do the best job. As long as you know what that is and you can ask for it in a professional way, that's actually the more professional choice in my experience. And people appreciate that. And then only if it works, of course, like you need to know that it works. But once you get that thing and you're able to deliver, people will understand that what you ask for is necessary, right?
Yeah.
Like those are necessary things. And they'll appreciate that. They'll go, oh man, it's so nice to have somebody who knows what they need and just delivers. Like it takes the thought process out for everybody else, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I think that transcends into life in general.
Yes.
You know, like
Yeah.
communication is everything in relationship and friendship and on set. And yeah, so I mean, that's insightful of you and
good life advice.
It is great life advice. So to pull back on that, so are there any recommendations that you have for like newer actors and like how to delve in? Like aside, like I know you said take a moment to yourself, but is there some sort of thing that you do when it's time to go into those like more visceral emotions, where you're marrying it with like a feeling combined with memorization?
Right, yeah.
You get what I mean? Because
I
a lot
do.
of actors, like I'll watch actors, and one of the big thing that hits me a lot is like they're not acting; they're regurgitating something that they've memorized.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
That's
and
a
there's
huge
a huge
thing.
difference, right?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I had a professor in university tell me that there's nothing worse than watching an actor just try to memorize their lines, just try to repeat their lines, you know? And I don't know, there's probably worse things, but the sentiment of that is very true. And you can tell. You can tell with new actors you can watch. Sometimes you'll actually see them scan.
Yeah.
They're reading an imaginary page in their mind when they're saying their lines. They'll just go. You can actually see it in their eyes. So you'll see that. You'll see them look up. Look up. Where are you looking up to? You're not looking up to visualizing what you're thinking about in the scene. You're looking up trying to go, what was my line?
Yeah.
Or you'll hear big pauses. You'll go blah 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 blah. It comes in these little chunks.
Yeah.
Nobody talks like that.
No.
So there's lots of things like that, and it takes away from the character, right? So for new actors, that's a really advanced question.
Yeah.
For new actors, it's an advanced question because everybody does it differently. That's the thing. So when you're a new actor, you don't know what works for you yet, right? You have to go out there and just try and, experience it and figure it out. When I was in university and I was training to be an actor, they taught me just billions of things, and they called it your tool belt. You have a giant tool belt, and we're going to fill it over the course of the degree. And they did, and I have a full tool belt now. But, you always have the one screwdriver that you like, and you go, this is the screwdriver that I use. So I don't really need all of the other tools because this is the one that works for me.
Yeah.
And somebody else will see the same project and go, I don't really want to use that screwdriver for it. I would like to use this power drill for it instead. It's like, sure, you use the power drill for it. Whatever you would like. So really the confidence comes from really knowing yourself as an artist and knowing what works for you. And I think for me, getting into those really emotional places, like if I was teaching myself back when I didn't know these things, what works for me is to not let it be my real emotion, because it's not. If I'm playing a character, it's the character's emotion. It's not mine. Now, I know that there are people that do draw on their own real emotions, and that works for them, and that's totally fine. Yeah. For me, I don't like doing that because it's usually the wrong emotion, first of all. So it's like if I'm playing a character where, my dog died, and she's sad about that, but I'm trying to remember something that made me cry the other day. If it's not my dog dying, then it's totally the wrong emotion. Even if it made me cry, even if it's the same result, it's not coming from the same place, right? And another thing is that if you draw from real emotion, then how are you going to get out of that emotion? If it's something that really, really physically hurts you, I shouldn't say how are you going to get out of it. There are ways to get out of it, but I don't want to draw on a real emotion. That sounds horrible. Like, if I'm actually upset about something enough in the real world that it makes me cry, I don't want to use that, because then I'm going to be sad for the rest of the day. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to be thinking about that real thing that actually happened. That just sounds awful to me. Whereas if I'm stepping into a character and I'm experiencing this horrible emotion that this character's having, I just step out of the character and then I just go, oh, it's not real. It's like when you tell a kid, oh, it's not real. It was just a dream. The emotion's still real. The kid wakes up freaked out. Yeah. But they're able to go, oh yeah, that wasn't real life. Now I'm back into my real body and now I'm here. It's the same thing as a character. That's not real to Elizabeth. It's real to this character. So it makes it much more, separate kind of thing. So that really helps me. And then the best part about that is it's the correct emotion, right? You're actually experiencing what that character should be experiencing in that moment. So in order to do that, though, you do have to have very intense empathy. You have to be able to actually be upset about something that upsets another person. Yeah. Because there have been characters that I've played before where they're freaking out over something that I wouldn't freak out about, right? Yeah. So you have to be able to actually imagine what it would be like to go through that emotion, even if it's something that you wouldn't react that way to.
I like that.
There's a lot of words.
No, but it makes perfect sense. And I mean, like, on some level, it's like compartmentalizing your experience. Yeah. But you still have to draw on it from a perspective that is essentially like made up. All perspectives are made up, but it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think that's the safe way to do it, personally. Yeah. I've worked with actors that have gone pretty method before, too. And I've worked with actors that do draw on their own emotions, and it's fine. It works for them, and obviously they're living their life and being successful. But for me, it would take away from the longevity of it. It's like I have to go back to being a real person after that. I have to interact with people and make them like me. I have to be happy after this. I have to go back and, be myself. And I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to just feel like crap because of real emotions that I'm bringing in, or make other people feel like, oh, I can't talk to Elizabeth today because she's sad or whatever. It's like, no, I want to still be myself in between scenes. And when I get home and whatever, I want to, be my happy self. So for me, it definitely protects the longevity of it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
So just kind of know thyself.
Know thyself, yes.
Right? Super important.
It is super important.
And I believe on a lot of ways, the biggest reason we are here, in general, as human beings, is to know thyself. Yeah. Right? Because you can't have empathy without knowing yourself.
It's true.
And it is a discovery thing. Like, I don't know all of me, and I discover new things about me every day, right? But learning to cherish the things that I cherish has taken a lifetime. So anyways, yeah. Little offbeat, but I totally
it often is like that, especially with me. People ask me acting questions, I get really philosophical. Because for me, it's like that. That's how it is. I'm like, we're not just talking about the craft, which we are, but we're not. Like, in order to be an actor, you have to be a person first, you have to be human. So a lot of that overlaps, I've always thought that sociology, psychology, philosophy, they all really, really highly overlap with acting. And you'll see that. You'll see, philosophists get into acting, or actors go and become psychologists. Like you'll totally see that all the time.
I respect it, especially this day and age, in the sense of like with the presence of toxic fandom, and you know what I mean. Like what you're talking ultimately about is like from a mental health perspective, you have a built-in fail-safe against toxic fandom. You get what I'm?
Yeah.
Because toxic fandom is rampant. It's just like, at what point do the creators get the opportunity to get their creative right back? When you get bigger IPs, like we're talking about Marvel and, some of these huge IPs, Star Wars, where the fans are just like, awesome, good job, you're a fan. But at some point it delves into like unhealthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's directed towards the person who played Padme or Mildred Moyer.
Yeah.
So I want to shift gears because you brought up your acting school at university. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. So you're a Canadian actress.
Yes.
Were you born in Edmonton or Saskatchewan?
I was born in Saskatchewan originally, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I came to Edmonton for school, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where did you go?
I went to Grant MacEwan first, and then I went to the University of Alberta. And out of high school, my drama teacher is the one who advised me to. So I applied at Grant MacEwan, and I applied to university, a couple other places for non-drama programs. And I ended up getting into them all. And I was like, oh no, now I have to actually decide. So I ended up deciding to go to Grant MacEwan for the theater arts program there. Back then it was a 2-year program. So I ended up doing the 2-year program there. And then one of my professors there said that if I want to continue on, it's a really good idea to get an actual degree, a 4-year program degree. So then from there, I took his letter of reference and I applied at the University of Alberta. And I did 3 years there to finish up that degree. And I did a couple extra classes at other universities as well, just to fill in the electives and stuff like that to be able to qualify for the degree. And then I graduated in 2021 with my degree in acting with honors.
That's awesome.
With distinction, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference between theater or film?
I get that question a lot. I guess I do have a preference, but I definitely don't have like I want to only do one or the other kind of thing. People are like, "Oh, which one are you going to do?" I'm like, well, both. I'm going to do both forever, hopefully. But I definitely have a preference for film, just for me, the way that I work. I noticed about myself, especially in university, that I wanted to record all of our theater projects. I like everything we were doing. I was like, we got to record it because like otherwise we're just going to lose it when it's done. It's just going to be over, which is one of the beautiful parts about theater is the impermanence of it. Yeah. You're only experiencing it in that moment, in that room with the people that are there. Like that is so magical and cool. I don't always sit well with that though. I'm always like, oh, but then it just dies. Like it just dies at that moment and you never get to see it again. So that's one of the things that I love about film. I also do find film is a little bit easier to be, to keep your health up, to keep your longevity up. Theater is you're much more of an athlete, in my opinion, in theater. I did a show, we did 82 shows. So we did 2 shows. We did 2 shows a day, 4 days a week or 5 days a week, what was it? I don't even remember, it was a while ago. But anyway, too many. We did too many. And by like the 80th of the show, I was like, yeah, that's a lot. And you can't cancel. You can't call in sick, like you just show up. You have to every day. And you have to do the same show every day and be super good every day. And that was a lot of fun. And I want to do that again. That was so much fun. But like, I've never had to do that kind of vigorous thing for film ever. No. Like it's never been like that. And film is the same way. You can't call in sick. You have to show up. And not only can you not call in sick, but you also can't be sick. So that's the same with theater and film. Other jobs, if it's a desk job, you're not feeling super great, but you're passable kind of thing. You can still go into the office and you can still sit at the desk and type. You can't pass. You got a cold, you sound like whatever. You can't pass on film, and that's there forever, right? Yeah. So your health is your top priority. You have to manage that very, 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 very well as an actor. So, I don't know, film for me is shorter bursts. steps, and there's a lot of people who are supporting you. Whereas in theater, you do your own hair, you do your own makeup, you get yourself there, you make your own lunches, whatever, like all of that kind of stuff, you figure it out for yourself. Whereas film, you have a lot more support from the whole team. So I don't know. I would say that film just works better for my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking, I'm thinking like my wife Katie. She runs marathons, right? And I've paid a special attention to runners. And film is sprinting, theater is marathon.
Marathon, yeah, that is so true.
And when they cross over, quite often, like someone who runs marathons, if all of a sudden they start to sprint, they tend to get injured.
Yeah.
Right, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Right, so it's really interesting the kind of parallel there.
There are so many differences. I feel like people often say like, "Oh, what's the difference between film and acting?" And people will talk about like the actual acting of it, but which there is a little bit of difference between the acting of it. But honestly, the biggest differences I see are those sorts of things, like what it looks like behind the scenes, what it looks like for the individual who's actually living and working that job. Yeah. You know, and there's like benefits and downsides each way. Something I love about theater that film almost never does is that we get to film, or we get to perform in sequence. So in theater, you get to actually do beginning, middle, end almost all the time, right? You get to do the whole thing. Whereas in film, you almost never film in sequence. It's just like, oh, you film your romantic scene before you even have met the person, you know, kind of thing. Or you'll film your death scene before your character has lived, you know, all of those things. And then once that's filmed, that's filmed. Yeah. So if you go and you do another scene, and then in that scene you discover something that would have changed how you would have done that, you're hooped. You know, you can't go back and re-record that. So that's something I love about theater. Theater rehearsals I really love. I wish we rehearsed as much for film as we do theater, but we don't. Yeah. So that I really, really like, because you just discover so much and you get so much bonding with your mates and stuff. So I really like that. Yeah, there's lots to like about both sides, honestly. Yeah,
we just did auditions for If Nothing Changes for the role of Delia, and then Ty is playing Paul, the main character. And we had 5 really talented actors the one day. And it was super hard to choose. It was very hard to choose. We ended up deciding on the woman that we cast, and what it boiled down to was just a little more microacting, physical microacting, and the lead who was there to read lines. We kind of mixed in a chemistry read as we did the audition, and that's who he felt most comfortable with, and felt like he would be challenged by her the most, which works good because she's playing his older sister.
Oh, good, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but there's so much to it. Like, the more I get into it, like, I've always been a cinephile. I've always loved film. I've always loved theater. The thing that I think, for me, that matters most is when both of them are done well, I cry. Yeah. I have gratitude, or...
Oh, that's so true. I cry so much.
You know, like, you just see somebody that's just cooking at that temperature that you know they're pushing themselves. And I'm like, I have goosebumps just thinking about it, you know? So, so there's that.
Yeah, when I've seen some really good theater, I've gone to theater, especially musical theater, like the overture, just 2 seconds in, full tears. I'm like, they haven't even done anything yet, but it's just the competence, the bravado of it. It's just like, it's so beautiful. So yeah, I cry too.
Katie just surprised me recently. We went to, it was the second to last show of Once at Walterdale Theater. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was like, I think I was in the building. We're about 20 seconds in and I was crying. Oh, yeah. All of them were so talented. They could all play instruments. They could all sing. You know what I mean? They had it really dialed in, especially, you know, second to last show. I left there feeling so much gratitude for the opportunity to take that in. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. So, what do you think is your most defining role? Like, what character do you think is your most defining character to your fans?
Well, to my fans, probably Mildred Moyer. I feel like that's exactly what you wanted me to say. Yeah, I would say that's the thing I don't know, most known for, maybe. It's the role that I've done the longest, having done 3 films now with her. Only 3, I think. Yeah. And, you know, we spent a long time filming. We spent a long time through the process. And especially me, because I actually took the role of producer on that as well. So I actually was, you know, a part of the development before the film and during and after, and, you know, promotion and distribution, all of that. So probably that one. Yeah. There's definitely roles that I feel more attached to than her, but yeah, Mildred Moyer is top up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's hovering in the atmosphere of cult film, which
I hope so. That was our goal.
Yeah, which is really cool. I mean, knowing Brandon, the writer director, I mean, he's a sweetheart of a human being. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he deserves his recognition with it. And it's really cool every time, like, some fan stateside or some fan across the world makes a drawing or a figure or of Mildred. Like, that's got to be kind of
gets a tattoo.
Yeah. Like,
still can't believe that.
You know, I used to be a tattoo artist, so it's like, it's kind of an honor.
It is an honor. It's a huge honor. That's actually, not to go back to what we were already talking about, but one of the differences between film and theater is often you're doing a character that other people have played before. You know, it's a piece of work that has been done over and over and over and over again. Not always. Sometimes you get to do new works, and that's awesome, but it's more common that you will do that in theater. And in film, it's almost always original, right? It's almost always you're the first person playing that role. Again, not always. Sometimes there's remakes, sometimes whatever. But yeah, that is probably one of my favorite parts about film. I'm not going to lie. It's like, I am Mildred Moyer. I am Mildred Moyer.
Yes.
Nobody else has played her before. And maybe someday somebody else will. You know, maybe there will be a remake, or there'll be I don't know, Mildred's daughter or something. Like, I don't know. You never know what could happen.
Yes.
But as of right now, she is originally my character. I've created her. And also Brandon's character, of course, and also everybody else is on set. You know, we all put into that. But that is something that we created originally together that nobody else had done first. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think that's pretty cool, personally.
It is very cool. I mean, as a writer myself and a director, like,
right?
Like, watching an actor take a character that before they embraced the words and put themselves into it, it only lived in my mind, my heart, and paper. Or nowadays it's digital, you know. But to see somebody take that, understand it, and just breathe life into it, it's almost not quite as cool as watching your baby being born and that whole life
but it
starting
is similar,
process.
Yeah.
It is very similar in that sense.
It is very similar, especially I find if it's like you and one other person. Not to get too into this, but if it's you and one other person and you're creating something together, it really does kind of feel like that. It's like, oh, we're like making a baby together. Yeah. Like, this is something that we are giving life, just me and this other person. We are giving life to this thing that did not exist before, that only came from us. Yeah. Like, what else can you compare it to? That's amazing.
No, it is an incredible feeling.
Yeah.
To go back a little bit, you are Mildred Moyer, but what are some characters that you feel more drawn to? Like, is there a character that you would love to revisit again, or have an opportunity to... One
of my favorite characters I've ever played, and this is not out there yet, so nobody can see this, except for the person who has the footage, or the people. But I played Becky in the Apex Predators Club.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, it is a role that I just love. And the thing is the characters that I love the most are the characters that are furthest from myself. Like, characters that are just like, oh, I'm not really going to have to act, I just have to be myself and say the lines. That's fine. You know, I don't mind that. That's still good. That's still fun. But characters that I really have to, you know, stretch to fit into, that I'm kind of like, I do not know how I'm going to play this. And then I figure it out, and I, you know, really embody it and feel like I get there. That's the money part for me. Like, that's why I'm doing this, you know. So Becky is definitely like that. She's freaking insane. She is crazy, and I love her.
Yeah.
So if I ever, for some reason, got the chance to play her again, which I don't think I will, I would take that immediately. I would do that immediately. No hesitation about it.
Do you feel characters like that are outside of Elizabeth are kind of part of you. Like it's almost like discovering a part of you that you never stopped to kind of observe.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say that's a very accurate observation. Yeah. I think that, like, it's hard to explain. If there is a character that I'm playing that is like a murderer or, you know, a really bad person in some way, it's hard to say, oh yeah, that part of that lives in me. You know, it's hard to say that and say those words, but of course it lives in you. Otherwise, where did it come from? Like, where did that character come from, right? But also, of course, I'm not going to do those things in my daily life. I think there's a difference between, you know, ideation and reality, you know, like, but yeah, it does live within you. You know, we're all capable of amazing, beautiful things and horrible things. You know, that's kind of what makes us human. We decide our own morals, you know, life shapes us, whatever, but we're all capable of a lot. You know, every human is capable of a lot. So yeah, that does live in me, even if it's not much like how I present, you know.
No, I can relate. I mean, a lot of times people were like, oh, you make movies? What kind of movies do you make? And I'm like, horror. And then they're like, ugh.
Yeah. What is with that?
You're right.
I remember that, actually, we're talking about Brandon Reines. One of my first interactions with him was like reading one of his scripts. I don't even remember which script it was, but it's just me and him, like me, a young lass, and Brandon, who's like a full man, whatever. And I'm just sitting in his apartment reading one of his scripts, and it's like just horrible things, like this person's like dismembering somebody else, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, wait, why am I here? Like, I should be reassessing my life. Why am I in this person's apartment? He's totally insane. And then I'm like, okay, but also I'm going to be playing that character. I'm like, so maybe I'm equally insane. And Brandon's obviously like the nicest person ever, super respectful and whatever. Yeah. But it's like, where did those things come from?
Yeah.
Like the depths of his mind, man. Oh my gosh.
I have a saying that not everybody gets, but even babies cast shadows.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's nothing more pure and innocent than a baby.
Yeah.
But they still cast a shadow. So either we embrace those things and learn to not let us run us or drive the bus per se, or we try to ignore it and it catches up to us in some way later.
I totally agree. Yeah. I've had some people be actually pretty critical of some of the stuff that I've done that has been darker. Like, I've done some pretty dark art out there, you know, there's some pretty shady stuff out there. And I have no problem with it. You know, it's like I can live a perfectly healthy, happy, normal, you know, no crime life in my daily life and still get to do art that experiments and explores those kinds of darker areas. I think what we were talking about earlier, like separating yourself from your character that you're playing, is very important and very healthy. And it's also extremely possible. It's like I can do really dark stuff and still not be a dark person. That's totally fine. But some people aren't able to separate that. You know, it's harder for some people. So, but yeah, I find it fun personally. I'm like, how cool is it that I get to do things I would never get to do in my normal life? It's like I would never do, you know, I would never stab somebody in the eye in my normal life. That would never happen. Yeah. But this character will, and I get to do that anyway. Like I still get to experience that without it being horrible, right? Like I think that's really cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
Even like Scream Queen icon Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, she doesn't watch horror. She does not like horror. Like if like that's not the first thing she'll sit down and watch. Exactly. But she is an icon. Her mother was an icon.
Yeah, actually, I didn't really like horror before I got into it. It's still not even one of my favorite genres. But for some reason, I just got cast in it lots and lots, so I had to learn a lot about it.
A lot of actors start there, though. Like, like I've been going back and watching, you know, 80s, pre-80s horror, cult film type stuff. And, like, the actors that are bigger today or maybe on the end of their sort of run, like, they all were in, like, I just watched Helen Hunt and Trancers, you know? Helen Hunt from Twister. You get what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of people I mean, the biggest reason I started with horror, aside from the fact that I grew up reading Stephen King and trading books with my mom and Dean Koontz and that sort of stuff, was you don't have to have a massive budget. You don't have to have an A-list actor. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to cost a whole bunch with horror. Whereas you know, with a lot of studio projects, they want like A-list actors, they want this, they want that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, yeah.
The barrier to entry is like a little more doable as far as horror and even sci-fi. Like, you have your fans that are into bad sci-fi.
Yeah.
You know, like I
Yeah.
like watching bad sci-fi.
Yeah.
You know? So, and it still challenges, it still exercises that muscle as you.
Totally does. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What's your ideal, like, do you have an ideal role? Like, is there something that you're, like, a specific genre that you wish, like, somebody would just be like, hey, Elizabeth, I want you to play this?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Lots, actually. I have lots of things I still want to do in the film world and in the acting world. Something I'm always waiting for. I'm always waiting for the phone call for a musical movie.
Cool.
That's something I really want to do, like La La Land, like Moulin Rouge, anything like that. Even Disney would be amazing. I shouldn't say even Disney, especially Disney.
Yeah.
I would die. But yeah, something live action preferably, so I actually get to physically do it. I would totally be fine with voiceover as well. But yeah, I'm waiting for that musical movie. That needs to happen. And that's kind of the opposite side of the spectrum. You were saying horror is a entryway for a lot of people for film. Totally true. I feel like musicals is like end goal for a lot of people. They're hard to do. They're very expensive. I get it.
Yeah.
But musical theater is what started out my passion for acting. That's how I got into it. It is my love and it is my passion. And so I really, like, I just want to be doing that all the time, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So I thought we could move into your kind of, like, into the pseudo cliche lightning round. Right.
Oh my gosh.
So I'll ask you a choice or lightning round, and then just kind of first thing that comes to mind. What's your thoughts?
I'm really bad at the lightning rounds. I'm actually really bad at stuff like this, but let's go. I'll be beautifully bad.
It's like hit training.
Yeah, it kind of is.
All right. So, coffee or tea?
Coffee. Oh, I love tea though. Damn it. I'm bad at this already. But yeah, I drink coffee like every day.
Yeah, same. Favorite movie genre?
Sci-fi probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just kind of sort of covered your dream role, musical, so I'm going to skip that. Dream director, aside from me.
Christopher Nolan?
Christopher Nolan, nice.
Is that like horrible for me to say?
No,
yeah?
not at all.
Okay.
He's inspiration to me in a lot of ways because, one, he got refused from film school.
Yeah.
Right? He couldn't get in, and he started late in the game. Right? So him and, of course, I'm not going to be able to come up with his name right now. We'll move Ridley Scott. They're both huge inspirations because they came into it later in life, right? Which is how I started.
Yeah.
All right. That wasn't so lightning, though. Okay. One actor you'd love to work with.
Hugh Jackman?
Nice.
Am I reaching too far?
No, not at all. Not at all. Plus, he does musical.
Yes,
He's done
he
a couple
sure
of
does.
musical things, and he does it well. One skill every actor should learn outside of acting.
Skill?
Yeah, one skill every actor should learn outside of acting.
I don't know. There's lots. I'm like, how to be a person? Yeah, honestly, just like life experience skills are important.
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts.
It does,
Sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Because some people are dicks,
Yeah, they are.
right?
It happens.
So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but some people are dicks. I was just in a church this past weekend where the pastor said, people are stupid.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Oh my gosh.
Amen.
I say people are crazy all the time. I'm like, people are crazy. People are wild.
Yes.
People do the most unexpected stuff all the time.
And more so, it seems, lately in
Yeah.
our world. And I think it just so founded in fear. You know, if people could just stop and just be like, what's my problem? Oh, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the uncertainty. I'm afraid of the fact that I have no control over the bigger picture.
Yeah.
All I can do is, like you talked about, the things that you can control, right? Why do certain genres like horror, sci-fi, that sort of stuff keep drawing you back? What is it about it?
I think the new experiences, this is going to be not a lightning answer, but a long answer.
That's
But the new experiences, that's one of my favorite parts about acting is that no 2 days look alike. which is kind of ironic to say because you're like doing take 1, take 2, take 23, take 24 of the same thing over and over again often. But actually, it is true. Every single role that I play, even every day for the character is different, right? Like nobody's writing a character that's like, they get up, they go to the office, they sit at the desk, they go home, nothing goes wrong. That doesn't happen. You don't write characters where nothing goes wrong and things are boring. So I get to live a lot of cool things. I get to live a lot of cool experiences and learn, and I don't know. That's my favorite part, is just all the different things I get to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you have a number of exciting projects on the horizon.
I do.
Is there one in particular you're most excited about?
Yes. Right now, big surprise to no one, the project I'm most excited about is A Widow's Oath. Mm-hmm. That's Chase Dudley's upcoming film. We're going to film that in the spring, early summer of 2026, depending on, everything. That's our plan so far.
Yep.
So I'm really excited about that one. I love swords. Swords are just like one of my passions. I love sword fighting. So that's a huge part of it. I also really love period pieces. I love history. I love historical fiction. I love all of that. So that is probably the thing I'm most excited about. I shouldn't say probably. That is definitely the thing I'm most excited about right now. I'm like, I lose my mind all the time thinking about it and how that's actually reality. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's nuts to me. That's nuts. And it's a lot of work, actually. It's one of the productions I've been a part of that has been the most amount of pre-production work that I've not really expected so far. So it's like we're building the costume for me right now. So that's really awesome because we get to build a custom costume for my custom character that fits me exactly. That's amazing. But it's also a lot of work. It's a lot of fittings. It's a lot of negotiating and discussing and talking and coordinating. I'm also training all the time. So I'm doing kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, a couple times a week. And then I'm also doing sword fighting and sword training, at least once a week as well, but multiple times this week as well. And then on top of that, just like managing scripts, script working, script analyzing, that kind of stuff. And then promoting. Promoting is a huge thing. Making videos, putting content out there, sharing stuff, discussing with people, getting people involved, all of that. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. But the thing is a film that is this big, a film that is going to be this amazing, requires all of that, right? And I always want everything I'm in to be the best job that I can possibly do, and for me to bring the most I can to the table for that film to make it the best it could possibly be. So, yeah, it's a big film, and I'm very excited, and it's, like, taking up all my time right now. Yeah. It's going to be kick-ass. It's going to be so kick-ass.
A friend of mine is working on it. I know him from the jiu-jitsu world, and then we've crossed over.
Is it Damien Tannenbaum?
Yeah. He actually, when I did casting announcement for If Nothing Changes, he was literally going to pay his way, fly here, pay for his hotel room.
That'd be so cool.
Just to kind of be, and I was like, Damien, it's a short. I'm like, I thank you, and I'm so honored. Like, words cannot express how honored I am that you would do that. Let's save it for a feature.
Yeah, I'm like, well, now you got to make a feature.
Paid,
yeah.
Right? So that's, I've had some kind of mentors and some friends who have been in the industry for a while now. I'm on like short 9, I think, and they're like, it's time for a feature. You need to move on. It is time for a
feature. I'm happy doing the shorts with you forever, but like, we could do a feature.
We will do a feature. I've got for sure 3 feature scripts that like I just got to let go of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got to put out there and like stop rewriting and rewriting.
You're a perfectionist just like me. I get it.
Yeah, and it's hard, right?
It is hard.
So, but I also want to represent, like, if you're in a film, I want to represent you in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Because I know you're doing the same for me.
Right, yeah.
You get what I mean? And I think that mutual respect and synergy will go a long way.
Yeah.
So I think we probably are getting to the end of our time, but is there anything specific you would like to kind of talk about or any...
Well, as an actor, it is your job to be as fully rounded as possible. I would say that. So even if you're not actively working on something that's like acting specific, even if you're not like, I'm working on a monologue or I'm working on a scene or whatever, anything that you do that makes you more well-rounded as a person makes you a better actor. So even if that's like picking up a new skill, like you're like, I want to learn horseback riding this weekend. That's going to just even if you never do a project that has horseback riding in it, that will make you a better actor. That'll make you more hireable. It'll make you better at everything else surrounding it. Like maybe you don't ride a horse in a film, but maybe you do a Western film where there are horses around and now you know how to handle them. I don't know. There's just so many things like that. So I'm always picking up new skills. Before I got into martial arts and doing stage combat and stuff, I was a dancer. And so when I first started out doing stage combat, it was much easier for me to pick up choreo than even the martial artists that were there. Even though they would hit harder and they would look better, I picked up the choreo faster. So it's like, at least I had that, at least I had the one thing. Maybe I couldn't kick as hard, but I could do that. And then everything else, falls into place after. So you wouldn't expect that. You'd go, oh, I'm going to a dance class. Is that going to help my acting? It might. It genuinely might. Stuff like that. Watching films and really breaking down and studying that can also help too. If you're that kind of person that likes that sort of thing, you can watch, think about, I don't know, an Oscar-winning scene. Go watch that scene and go, what makes that scene an Oscar-winning scene? Like, what makes it that good? And really break that down. I would do that.
Can you talk a little bit about the importance of listening as an actor, like in the scene partner? With your scene partner, because a lot of times it's like it goes back to the regurgitation or memorization. So
yeah, something that people don't expect when they're memorizing lines is you don't just memorize the words you're saying. It's important to memorize the words that other people are saying. You don't have to memorize it word for word necessarily because you're not going to be saying it, but knowing what they are saying is so important for what you're saying. If your line is I don't know, just making something up, I want to buy a house. It's like, okay, is your character really excited about that? Like, I want to buy a house. Or are they like, oh, I want to buy a house, but they can't afford it or something. How you say that line is directly associated with what the line is right before that. What did that character say to you? Yeah. That character go, I really like living in an apartment. Does that go, oh, well then now I might need to emphasize the word house. I might need to go, oh, I really want to buy a house. Yeah. I don't want to live in an apartment. I want to buy a house. Whatever it is, it's going to be directly impacted on what that other character is saying. So it's important to know their lines. And it's also important to know your cue for when you need to start talking. Because if you only memorize your lines, sometimes you just have to go, are they done yet? Oh, okay, now it's my time to speak. That's not what you should be thinking in the scene. You should be actually responding in real time to what they're saying. So it's important that you know your lines really, really well and you know their lines so that you're not thinking about any of those things. You're just listening to them. And, maybe the way that they say their line is going to directly impact how you say your line. And if you don't, if they switch it up and you don't switch it up, you're the one who's going to look like you're not knowing what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
If somebody says, let's get out of here, that's their line. And your line is, I can't wait, kind of thing. If they go, let's get out of here, oh no, somebody's coming to get us, let's get out of here, you're like, oh, I can't wait, let's go, kind of thing. Or if they're like, hey, let's get out of here, and then you still go, oh, I can't wait, that's gonna make no sense, right? You need to respond to what they say. So listening is a huge thing, and you can't listen in a scene if you don't know your lines. If you don't know the cues, you don't know your lines, whatever, you can't listen, because the only thing you're going to be thinking in your head is running over your next line over and over and over again. And you'll see that in actors. You'll see them looking at the person, but they're not there. They're in the book, So
I do, because when it comes to the edit and the way a lot of my directing knowledge came from Jordy Day, who's he's a director out of Calgary, really talented guy, does a lot of documentary, but my big sort of break, I guess, was ELE, and the way that Jordy does coverage is you have your wide and then you move in, but you'll be doing a scene and I'll stay on you on the camera because I want your reaction shots. I want to see how you are responding to the lines. Yeah. Because it's so valuable in the edit. You know what I mean?
And that's how people really behave. If somebody's talking to you and you're just dead, you're just emotionless. And then you get into your line, it's nobody is like that. That's so robotic. It's not going to translate as realistic at all.
And it comes off as transactional.
It does come off as transactional. And the thing is even though you are playing characters, you still are real people behind the scenes. It is your job to be respectful to your scene partner, to be prepared. This has gone both ways. I'm not saying that I'm perfect and have always had every line memorized perfectly. There are times where people are more prepared than others. But as a scene partner, I know what it feels like to be panicking that my other scene partner is not going to be able to pull it off, right? Because it does. It directly impacts what a good job I'm going to be doing, right? And vice versa. It's like, I want to be the best I can be so that I make my scene partner look good and they make me look good and we look good together. We both get to step up that level. If they're not sure if they're going to get their lines out, I'm not really able to sink fully into that character because I'm going to go, I don't really know what they're going to be delivering me here. You know, I don't know if it's going to be right, if I'm going to have to overcompensate to help them, if I'm going to have to, you know, problem solve in the moment. Like, it puts you on your toes and you don't want to be on edge like that when you're acting. You want to be comfortable in the moment, actually sinking into the real scene that you're in. And vice versa. If I was not prepared and I'm sitting there going, oh my God, this person's super prepared and I'm not prepared, like, I'm going to be letting them down, blah, blah, blah. I'm also not being able to be in the scene, right? And I feel like that will impact their results. I'm not going to feel good about that either. You never want to, like, not feel good ever, right? Like, nobody wants to be like, this scene was mediocre. No, you want it to be the best thing it can be every time you do that, right? So I don't know. It's very important to be a supportive scene partner. It's very, very important, and it goes both ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, it mirrors life.
It mirrors life.
It mirrors relationship,
yeah.
friendship.
Yeah. And the listening thing too, like, you can tell, like, it's a friendship thing. It's like, you can tell if that person's not listening to you, if they're just going over their lines in your head, you're going to feel like what you say doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
It's like, if you're really in that moment with that other person, I tell you, it's like nothing else. It's magic. It's magic.
Yeah.
When you are with a scene partner who's prepared and who's really competent and they believe in themselves, and you are feeling the same way and you're in that moment and you both just sunk into the scene, it's like, that's why we're all there.
Yeah.
You know, that's the moment we're all waiting for.
100%.
It's literally just magic. It's beautiful. That's the kind of stuff that makes people cry in the theaters.
Yeah. 100%.
Right? It's such a good feeling. I love that.
Well, and I think for me, that's one of the things jiu-jitsu does for me,
Yes.
or like directing or being on set is,
Yes.
I'm severe ADHD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I spend most of my day just trying to figure out what it is that I have, what's most important that I do next. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
And then that's usually the thing that gets shuffled behind. Got to cook eggs, got to walk the dog, got to, you know.
Right, yeah.
But that's the thing about film, I find, is it just pulls you into the moment. You know, again, it's a form of meditation.
It really
like
is,
Buddhists
yeah.
define meditation as deep looking into the moment. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what film does for me. I think last question for sure that I have for you is, what do you look for in a director?
Oh my gosh.
I think it's important.
It is important.
Question.
I think that there is this opinion of actors that we're all really desperate. And I think there's some truth to that. It's like, what do I look for in a director? Somebody who wants to hire me.
Yeah.
That's such a bad answer. But I think a lot of people would say that. They would go like, oh, I don't know, just somebody who's alive. Like, but for me, I've gotten to a point in my career where actually I do get to be a little bit picky. Mm-hmm. And I hate saying that because I don't like being seen as picky, but it is true. I actually was at an event a while ago where a filmmaker came up to me and looked me in the eye. And he was very honest, and I really appreciate this about him. But he was like, you need to stop doing things that aren't good. And I was like, oh. And I'm like, okay, well, also, like, this is my job and these are paychecks. And also, you don't always know what's good when you get into it, right? It's like, I don't know how it's going to turn out. But what he was really saying to me, and all those things are true, but what he was really saying to me is that I have gotten to the level where I can be picky.
Yes.
And that's not a bad thing. That's not a thing that I should have to feel like I have to explain, you know? It's like, he's right. These things that are low quality bring me down, or, you know, don't challenge me or don't bring me up or whatever it is. That's very valid. That is very, very valid. And actually, I appreciate that he said that to me. And it has, since that moment, I have actually turned down a couple projects that I probably wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I want to be a yes person. I want to do it all. I just love acting so much. It doesn't matter to me, you know, to be honest. I just want to go and do the thing. But if I want to step up, if I want to get to a higher level, if I want to learn, I need to take the things that are more advanced or different or better than the last thing, right? The first thing that I look for in a director is safety. To be honest, I always have, especially as a woman in the industry, and especially as a young woman, and especially right now as unrepresented. I don't have an agent, so it's just me and my manager, so that's good. It's just me, and I have to vet these people and decide if they're safe, because there are a lot of wackos out there. Not even just in this industry, but just in the world. And I have run into a couple, and there have been a couple that I've run into that I really feel like I could have vetted better. I was like, I could have done a better job of ensuring my safety or ensuring other people's safety or whatever. That's just normal. That's just how it happens. So that's definitely the first thing. I have to make sure that they're like not clinically insane or whatever. But the biggest thing now is making sure that our creative ideologies align. That we have similar interests, that we look for similar things. I like directors that are directors that actually want to challenge me and aren't afraid of telling me that I'm doing poorly or that they want something completely different or whatever. I think a lot of directors that I work with, this is going to sound so conceited.
No.
I feel like a lot of directors that I work with lately are too scared to say anything to me because they're like, oh, it's Elizabeth Chamberlain, you know, or whatever, and then they're like intimidated or something. I'm like, no, you're still my boss. You still, you know, like it's still your vision. I want it to be your vision. Tell me what to do, you know. And they'll be like, oh, she's the expert. She'll just do her thing, and I'll just do my thing. It's not a big deal. But it's like, what's the point of collaborating then? You know, it's like if I'm playing your character or a character that you decided to bring to life, like, I'll do it, but you gotta give me something. I mean, you don't gotta, but I don't know. Like, I'm like, I want to work with you. I don't want to just be here. I don't want to just work separately alongside of you. You know, direct me. Tell me what to do. I'm fine with that. I'm never going to be insulted if a director says like, oh, this is totally wrong. This is totally not what I was thinking at all. Can you do it like this? I'm going to be like, thank you. Yes, I can do it like that. You know, I want that as an actor.
So I drive you nuts is what you're saying.
You drive me nuts?
Yeah, I don't, honestly, I like...
Yeah, you did, I guess I suppose,
don't interject very often, just because, like, even that's the way I've learned to coach, is, like, I used to interject, and I used to interject my bias, my thoughts, you know what I mean? And what being a martial arts coach for nearly 20 years has taught me is everybody has a process. You get what I mean? And some people love feedback. And some people will go home and make a voodoo doll and stab me 100,000 times because I gave them feedback without asking for permission first. You know what I mean? So there's a fine line there from a director.
I don't know. I honestly never felt like that with you.
I try to let people, you know what I mean? I
feel like maybe you don't give feedback in a way that feels like feedback, but I feel like you do give feedback. You give me enough context and, I don't know, like pre-knowledge. Like, we talk about things fully throughout, and we both decide, like, okay, this is where we're going with things. And you are stern with certain things, and you're like, this is my vision. And then certain things you're not, like everybody is. I wouldn't say you don't give me feedback. It's just maybe not the traditional outlook of it. I don't know, but I feel like you give me a lot of feedback. Like, something I don't like is when I just feel like I'm swimming out in the water and I don't know if I'm hitting it or missing it or whatever. I'm like, is this even remotely on track? Am I even remotely hitting what I'm supposed to be hitting here? I don't like that because I don't feel like I'm doing a good job. Something that people often say about actors is that we need a lot of reassurance. And I would say that's true. It's kind of embarrassing, but it is true. It's like, I need to know that I'm hitting the mark here, you know? And I'll just keep going. I'm not going to stop and ask for reassurance. I'll just keep going. I'll do my thing. But I'm not going to leave feeling confident if I am not told at any point if I'm doing something right or wrong, right? What we've been taught as actors is to just keep going without notes. If we're not getting notes, do the exact same thing because that means it's good. I don't think that's the way it should be. If I don't hear anything, it must mean it's good. No, just tell me it's good and let's move on. Like, why do I have to just assume it's good, you know? There's a lot of things that a person could be thinking about. They could be thinking, oh, that's bad, but I won't be able to improve it. Or, oh, that's bad, but I don't want to upset her, so I won't say anything. Like, they could be thinking all of those things too, not just, oh, it's good, so let's move on.
Yeah.
Like, just take 1 second and just say, good. That's all I need to hear, you know?
Yeah.
And then we can move on. So I think that's, I don't know, personally, I try to do that as a director. I try to let people know when things are good, not just when things are bad.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think you do an excellent job of that personally.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that feedback.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, I think in a lot of ways, that's the power of rehearsal a little bit, is because for me, like, if I have 5 people in the room that I've never even really met before and don't know their physicality as far as like fight choreography, like, the thing I know best is fighting. I've been doing it my entire life. I know what's going to look real to other fighters. I'm going to know what's like cringy to people who know how to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So in a lot of ways, I would rather throw spaghetti at the wall and let the group correct. You know what I mean? That's what I really enjoyed about with you, is like, okay, cool, I like that, and I'm not finding it challenging enough. What if I do this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, you can do that. And if you can do that, that's fantastic. And what it does is it just starts to give me, it starts to create like a parameter for me to work within.
Yes.
Whereas certain people, it's like, okay, if I get you to do that, one of you is going to get hurt. And my job as a coach and a director is to make sure everybody leaves uninjured.
That's a good goal.
You know, everybody leaves uninjured, that it's a safe set. I want to do, have you watched They Will Kill You?
No.
With Zazie Betts?
I don't even know what
Zazie
that is.
Beetz?
It's a movie?
Yeah, she applies for a job at a hotel only to find out that it's like a big sacrificial chamber, if you will, to worship Satan. And the new person that they bring on becomes a sacrifice, and she becomes the sacrifice.
Oh, brutal.
Super good. It's fun. I think you would love it.
It's fun.
It's fun. Like, she whoops some serious ass. And it's fun for everybody. It's pretty
whooping
fun.
ass. That's good.
So there's more depth to it, but I don't want to like inject any depth into it that will spoil it if you do go and watch it.
Okay.
But Zazie Beetz, they will kill you.
Okay.
It's on Amazon Prime right now.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, so thank you, Elizabeth, for taking the time to come out and on Born to Roll, the interview, right?
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on the show. We'll smooth that out a little bit.
What are you talking about? That was perfect.
Yeah. No, more serious. I'm honored to kind of do anything like film, live talk show, collaborating on music, anything like that. I think you're super talented. I'm a fan of you in your profession and as a human being.
Oh my gosh.
So I appreciate you.
You make me feel so good. You make me feel like a friggin' rock star.
I just tell the truth because it's easier.
Oh my gosh. I'm a huge fan of you too, literally.
Thank
like
you.
I'm so glad that we have met. I don't know, like I just feel like my life has changed.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really do enjoy you. Yeah.
I'm honored.
Yeah, I'm honored.
Pound it. All right.